see this?
Hey, I think we're live.
What?
No, I think the show started.
Where am I?
Brad!
What?
I think the show started!
Hey.
No, seriously, look!
Oh, hey! What's up? All right, right on.
I didn't hear you come in!
Welcome to the 3-2-1 Screw.
Snuck
Thursday
up on us
Throwdown.
Welcome to Costco.
Sneaky,
I love you.
I love Costco. It's a good store.
Sneaky. Yeah, I'm more.
All right.
Anyways,
I'm more of a
Anyway,
Sam's
hey.
Club myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
BJ's aren't bad.
No, I
BJ's are great.
enjoy them.
Woo!
You're really good at them.
No, Bill.
Oh,
No.
No.
oh, I guess he's bad at them, but the fellas sure love them.
So anyways, so today's show, we are going to we're going to dive into the women of wrestling. Not
Yes,
all of them,
we
just a few.
are.
Yeah, we're gonna change things up a little bit. And this week we're gonna talk wrestling stuff.
Yes, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do about 10 minutes on each show for Raw, SmackDown, AEW, NXT,
Correct, sir.
and NWA.
All right.
I thought we had agreed on 11 minutes.
Actually, it was.
I was under
10.
the impression of 9 minutes, guys.
No, it was.
That's what we said last week.
No, man, no. It was 10 minutes and 34 seconds.
Okay, Brad, I can't work like this, goddammit.
All I know,
Don't touch me.
someone's gonna be next.
Goldberg.
Captain.
I'm sorry, is this your pen?
So,
I'm sorry, it's a nice pen. I
Anyhow.
just didn't want it to get lost.
how's it going, everybody?
Good, how you doing?
We
man?
are once again back doing our thing.
Let us
Every
in.
Thursday night,
Our
let us
wrestling
in.
thing.
9 p.m. to whenever.
That's right.
That's right.
Thanks for letting us in. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah,
It's making a
So,
comeback, folks.
Flashbacks. No. Pineapples. No.
So,
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
not me.
Huh.
What does everybody want?
Uh-oh.
What does everybody need?
What does everybody love?
Fake styrofoam heads.
Apparently that goes with the BJ's joke. So,
So, yeah, I guess.
SmackDown, Raw.
Would you like a little head? You're good. Want some head?
Yeah, maybe after the show.
I quit.
Celebratory.
Yeah.
Celebratory.
Yeah, I'm not,
It'll
no.
go good with the bubbly.
And the bubbly.
Bubbly.
Yep, we'll call Jericho.
So,
Yes.
all right then.
I don't have a notepad back here. Not at all.
Real quick, I want to go ahead and touch bases with everybody, all joking aside. You go to 321screw.com, you can actually see that there's a new members area. So you can go ahead and sign up, and you can get our blogs that Joe, Bill, myself will be writing every week. So these are based on all of the shows. So we don't really have to, we can touch on highlights and stuff of the week of the shows every week, but we're not going to spend a whole awful lot of time, and we're just going to dive right into our main topics.
Right.
So
Right.
with that being said,
Yeah, I wanted to add in too as a little special bonus. Every new subscriber to our YouTube channel will receive a personal handwritten thank you from all of us, delivered via carrier pigeon.
yes.
So, you want to keep an eye out for that. Just,
How's that going to work?
it's...
Well, you have to
Well, the
catch
carrier
them.
pigeons know. I don't,
Look, if I got to go catching pigeons and no.
Dude, are you kidding? Those things...
Let's face
those
it, out
things
of the
would
three of us,
overpower
who
you.
would have to go?
Yeah, those things would overpower you.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Joey, you, my friend...
Have you ever seen the
Please.
movie Birds?
Stay away from birds of prey. I fear for your safety all the time,
I
dude.
appreciate it, man.
Anytime you leave my house and I see a big owl or a hawk,
No, a bird of prey for Joey would be a canary or a finch.
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 What the hell's a finch?
Oh Lord.
Never see it coming.
No, I would not. I would not.
I think he's on par to. He'd have a good good shot at fighting off a hummingbird.
Yep. And moving on.
Yes.
So,
So, anyways,
Could be worse.
what do you? What?
Could
What
be a fish.
could be a fish. No, but
Be a shark.
you can also catch this show live directly on 321screw.com. You can also find us on Facebook, which
You
some
can.
of you are watching on Facebook.
And we appreciate it.
Found on YouTube and on Twitter now, because I went ahead and I uploaded the link to Twitter, and we can catch us there,
Don't
was
forget
gonna
to check out Beyond the Squared Circle Facebook fan group.
which we are all admins for.
That's right.
Oh, uno, dos, tres.
Yes.
Mhm.
As well as two other people who are not on the show. One being Alex Red of ARW,
Yes.
and the fifth admin is Bob Isbell.
Yes.
Bob
Yes.
Isbell.
Good friend
Okay.
of mine, big,
Right on.
big
He's
wrestling
tuned
fan.
into the show.
Oh,
I've seen him
he's
leave
been on many
comments.
times. He may be watching now. I don't know. If you are, Bob, what up? Thanks for tuning in.
So,
I want to say too, because I know what you said, we're Facebook Live,
yes.
and that's cool. I dig that you're watching us Facebook Live. Keep it up. But when the show's over, at least just go to our YouTube. If you like the show, obviously you're watching it. Go to our YouTube channel, click that subscribe button.
It
You can
helps
continue
us-
to watch it on Facebook. That's fine.
It helps
But
us
just
out
give us that
tremendously.
subscription. Help us out.
Yeah.
Do a brother a solid.
I also want to let everybody know that
Solid.
on Tuesday Spotlights, we've been dealing with some technical difficulties here, which I do believe that we have resolved as of right now. To point that finger right up your nose or up your ass. So, the technical difficulties are slowly petering out, and we're no longer having. Oh dear Jesus! I'm not explaining a fucking thing to you anymore.
Petering. It's petering out.
That means it's slowly dying off. Okay. So, anyways, but Tuesday Spotlight will resume. To some of the wrestlers that we did do the interviews for, we apologize. We will have to set up another interview for you because we lost audio on a lot of them.
Yeah, in fact, we had 3 of them.
Yes.
3 of them that we had done, we had lined up, and they were great interviews.
But now
And again, I want to personally, the 2 people that I interviewed, I want to thank you tremendously for the time that it was great talking to you. I enjoyed the conversation, and I truly wish we didn't have the computer issues where we lost all audio and sound to it, and pretty much lost everything.
But we live and learn, boys.
Yeah. We live and pay, I know death.
I did that, and I realized that I totally gave you guys an opportunity for open flare chest. So
Yep, you really did.
I totally took that back.
If I want your chest, I'll just take it.
So, but anyways, we
I
have
have sensitive nipples. Bill.
we have another special guest that's going to be on this coming Tuesday Spotlight.
Who's that?
His name is Zach Monstar.
Star. Oh, you told me
From
about
ARW.
Right.
So,
ARW.
Perfect choice for the week of
Halloween.
Which, just a little heads up for all you guys, just not to get ahead, but next week episode, you're going to want to tune into that one because it is on Halloween night.
Yes.
And not only are we going to be talking about all the goings on, of course, Crown Jewel, which is the 31st.
Which is the same day.
Same day. But our topic and theme is going to be creepy, scary, spooky characters, gimmicks, storylines, everything, like that in wrestling. So Monster will be perfect.
Well, and the thing about it is that, a lot of the superstars that, had the creepy or scary gimmicks or whatnot, that there's a certain air of kayfabe there. But this guy, I'm telling you, man, he's got this... It's really, to me, it scares me because there's things that he's talked about that he knows about me, and this is I don't know the guy all that well.
What the fuck are you going to him?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of tempting fate here, and I really think this could be a great interview. This could go horribly wrong. So I'm gonna put on my journalist underwear and I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this one done, man.
Just
Good luck to you.
Just give us a call afterwards.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm already kind of creeped out going into it, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it together and do it anyways.
Say that right now. What if he watches this and then he comes after you?
Well, I'm sorry, Zach, if I offended you or anything, man. But I'm.
What?
Don't throw me under the bus, man.
I'm just trying to save you. I'm trying to tell him that maybe you were drinking and that's why you're saying some of the shit you're saying now.
I wasn't drinking.
All right, but listen, we're gonna have a talk after the show.
You know what? I'm tired of you following me in the bathroom.
Listen, I enjoy following you in the bathroom. If I'm gonna follow. Hey, I forgot, guys.
Anyways,
So what's up?
So, Bill, we're going on what 2 months now for the championship.
Has there ever really been another one? I think
He is the longest reigning 3-2-1 Screw Cruiserweight champion.
Yes, he is. Yes,
2 months.
Yep.
plus.
Yeah.
Plus.
Another thing before we're going to segue right into our topics for the day.
The fucking guy.
Le Champion.
Le Champion.
Get some of the bubbly.
Yeah.
So,
Technically, you guys are part of my inner circle.
yes, we are.
Once you're in the circle of trust,
It's more of a
Greg,
triangle, but
there's no getting out.
Anyways, I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to a couple other promotion or podcasts and everything. Magic Through Wrestling with Mari Zavallo. We got Bill DeMont that's on his team. They just recently had Billy Gunn from AEW and from WWE fame. So thank you, Mari, for everything that you guys have done. You guys are awesome. But also, I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out, our normal sponsors. We've got, A&B Graphics. We've got Sheer Traction. We've got Mr. Submarine. We've got Straight Out of Philly, which, dude, Bill, how was that lunch today, man? Yeah, that Straight Out of Philly?
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you missed it again. I sent a carrier pigeon message to you. You didn't get it?
I was off today too, fellas.
Oh, by the way, on the Facebook chat, Daniel Butler said that Zach Monstar will only slightly maim you, so you got that going for you.
I told you not to say anything mean.
All right. So, thanks, Daniel. Dude, if you can give me any pointers, because I know that you've had personal run-ins with Zach also. Please, by all means, give me a shout out on Facebook or something to that effect. I know that we're friends on there, and I know that you're also part of the Beyond the Squared Circle group too. So,
yeah. Right.
Man.
What's the matter?
Oh, just that whole interview, man, has got me.
Are you still sweating? That was like 5 seconds ago. I don't care now.
I do.
Why?
I'm doing this interview, man.
Bro, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. No, it won't. All right. It's going to be all right. Be strong, Bradley. Do it for the screwies. Come on.
My screw. You call them screwies. He calls them screwheads. To me, they're my scroopies.
They're the screwies, man. I love calling our fans the screwies.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, we went ahead and we had a couple go to our website, see the results for SmackDown and for Raw. Basically, if anybody didn't hear last show, that Eric Bischoff was fired.
Yeah.
And now he's been replaced by Bruce Pritchard.
That's Brother Love, right?
I don't think so.
No, he was Brother Love.
Oh, he was Brother Love?
I love you.
Yeah, he was. He was Brother Love.
So
that's the best I'm gonna get out of it.
So Bruce Pritchard is now in charge of SmackDown. So
right
basically, SmackDown started off with the Intercontinental Championship match between Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura. which of course, as can, anybody can guess, Sami Zayn, of course, cost, Roman Reigns
because
the
I
match.
forgot those two were together right now.
And
then Baron Corbin
and then
came
Baron
out.
and then
Yeah.
hit him and
Turned
caused a DQ.
And then it turned into a tag match.
Right, which I thought was ridiculous because, you've got two people working double duty, throughout the night. It was, why didn't they just make that a Daniel Bryan versus Corbin match instead
Maybe
of...
they pay them twice when it happens that way.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Don't care.
Don't know.
Anyways, so the
and the thing is to start off, but I mean, Nakamura and Reigns were putting on a pretty good match.
They were. They didn't need that interference.
Why the interruption? Let's have a straight
It
up
could
match.
be. It could be them trying to promote the Crown Jewel match coming up. Kind of show the
with
feud
the-
between
with
the couple
the-
of guys.
with the king coming in,
I know,
Crown Jewel.
I know, but
it's kind of cheesy. But
I know, but I think that's just their whole. I mean, I think that's what their plan was for that.
Right.
Just to kind of boost it a little.
But after Corbin cost Roman the match, obviously they're doing the beat down on Roman, and of course Daniel Bryan comes out and saves the day, and he does the missile drop kick on Nakamura. Then Sami Zayn grabs Bryan's leg, and Nakamura hits Bryan with a running knee. So
tuning in, Carmen.
So my personal
We see it.
My personal favorite of the night was the New Day and Heavy Machinery backstage, where Otis,
awesome.
comes out and he's wearing his his little his way too short trunks, and his bikini apron and the chef's hat, mixing up his pancake batter. And like Xavier Woods is like, no man, we've got a match. We don't need that before our match. We're gonna get sick, So, and then Otis, of course, is like, more for me, and he just drinks the whole entire thing.
The caterpillar
drips down his face, dude. That was hilarious, man.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. I agree.
Since we were talking or mentioning New Day, and you just happened to mention Xavier Woods, did you hear about that? He's nursing. He has an injury right now. That
Xavier?
Yeah, and he's going to be going out here, and probably be. They're looking at like maybe 6 months.
Are you kidding me?
It's an Achilles injury that he's probably going to have to have surgery on. So I'm not sure what
that one's hard to come back from.
I'm not sure what what exactly it is if they're waiting to get done and over with. I think it might be the big greatest tag team in the world tournament thing that they're doing at the Crown Jewel.
Right.
Well, the New Day's part of. Yeah,
so I've been noticing that Fat Charlie,
thanks for tuning in.
Asian, what's happening, man?
What's up, buddy?
So
that Fat Charlie, that's my Bayou buddy.
Yes.
Right on.
Animal.
They'll let you know.
On the Bayou.
So and then Shorty Gable's music hits.
Shorty Gable's awesome.
And then he begins to walk down to the ring to take on Curtis Axel from the B Team.
Yep, he is the champion of the vertically challenged demographic.
You must love him.
Is he one of your favorites?
I feel his pain.
Yeah.
Shorty Gable, Daniel Bryan.
No. Shorty G now.
Hey, let me just say
Shorty
this.
G.
Shorty G. Oh, he's got
Shorty J.
Shorty Gable, though, let me tell you something. I'm glad that they're utilizing him, man.
Yeah.
He is a good talent, and he deserves it. So, shut your freaking pie holes.
Well, one thing that I did like about his whole promo, after the match, they go ahead and they do like an interview directly in the middle of the ring. So I mean, he's embracing the short jokes. He's tired of the bullying, and he's just moving on. He's just taking it as it comes instead of getting offended and upset about it.
Yeah,
right on. Good for him.
He's embracing it.
Yep.
But you kind of wonder, is he really embracing that, or is he being told to embrace it? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, dude, your boss tells you to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, you could not do it.
So,
It's true, but
so anyways,
we have a
after
chat.
Shorty G gets off the screen, yeah, of course the announcers are there, and then Hogan comes on the screen, addresses his team, and the fact that Rollins had to jump ship, and he was being replaced
Yeah.
because of his match with the Fiend.
You're right, Ashley.
What? Hogan?
No, she said Captain Bill is going to get you.
Okay.
Want you, Joey.
So,
Why me scared of Bill? Sorry, man.
anyways, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Touchy feely.
Stop it! No.
Look,
What are you, Kyantai? About to cut Val Venus?
no means no.
Stranger
So-
danger.
This is my area.
So, anyways, going back to Xavier Woods, Heavy Machinery, and the New Day, they had a tag match against Robert Roode and Wriggler. And
Yeah, Wriggler.
Wriggler
How did they catch
Revival.
on?
It's catching on. It's catching on. Right
Wriggler
on.
and the Revival. Which, in all honesty, I love the dynamic between Otis and Big E. The way that they were dancing with each other in the ring was priceless, man. I freaking loved it. More of that. and with Otis, every time he was like, bam, 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 and he's like, so,
Yeah, that Otis, he's
He's a character.
Yeah.
a character.
I think he's going to go far.
they wind up pinning Dawson for the win. The
The
New Day pins Dawson from the Revival.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they go to the backstage area where, they have breaking news. But they announce that, the Corbin Nakamura, Brian Reigns match for the tag team. My favorite segment, my second favorite segment of the entire night was Miz TV.
Yeah.
Where he just completely and totally decimated Bailey and her, I guess,
gimmick.
temper tantrum that she's
Oh.
throwing. This is whole thing. So,
Maybe there's some heat there, man. I don't know.
right. So Miz asked Bailey, why, she did what she did, and she says, I don't know you or anyone, explanation. So Miz comes back, what about all those kids that looked up to you? And she didn't say anything. Miz follows up with, a champion that doesn't talk. What are you, Brock Lesnar?
Whoa, now.
And is this your Paul Heyman? And he points at Sasha Banks.
Shots fired.
Woo!
Why the change? Why the lash out? You cut your hair, change your appearance. Why? Is it a respect issue? Did the audience not cheer you loud enough? Was that it, Bailey? Was it insecurities? You didn't like the way you looked? Maybe this would change you. This might be good enough. Maybe you just weren't good enough. So yeah, he kept
Digging at her.
digging
man.
at her hard.
He was just
And-
instigating.
And you can tell the look on her face that she was, visibly upset by it. But Sasha Banks said that she says, oh God, what was it? Don't look at me. Stop looking at me. Stop. So, so Sasha says that Bailey doesn't have to explain herself to someone who got drafted in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
So she took a shot at Miz, and Miz goes 5th round, 3rd round, 1st round. It doesn't matter. When I talk, people listen.
True.
So,
True.
so
No,
Oh,
listen to what he's saying.
yeah. So, but anyways, I mean, it kind of goes stale whenever Bailey, does her little spiel and why she did what she did, and
Yeah.
the Bailey buddies defined her as a superstar. And then, that sets up and introduces for the 6-pack challenge with all the women wrestlers,
Right.
which was Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Which those two, they didn't treat it as a 6-pack challenge. They just treated it like they were still operating as a tag team.
Right.
Just anyways. So the 6-pack challenge, Nikki Cross winds up rolling up Mandy Rose for to win the 6-pack challenge. So she's going
to Crown Jewel.
Right, going to Crown Jewel to face Bailey, which I don't know how
Nikki
I really.
Cross, you said?
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that because, as much as I do like Nikki Cross, I don't know. I just can't really get behind her. I would have much rather, and I hate to say this because I hated her whenever she first was introduced, but Lacey Evans. I would have much rather seen Lacey Evans in that.
She
that
on
match.
SmackDown?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Nikki Cross has earned it.
I think she's. I think, you know what? If she was to be the one to, I don't think Bailey's going to lose the belt anytime soon, just because
the gimmick change.
They got to get it over. They're going to make her look like a powerhouse now that in the women's division because she's champion, and maybe she's going to have a lengthy title reign. I'm not saying a year, but maybe she'll have like 4, 5, 6 months.
I have no idea who you are, Big Mac Moto 3478, but
thanks for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. But no.
No, we are not.
So, anyways, it winds down, and Braun Strowman goes against Drew Gulak from 305 or 205 Live, which I thought his little spiel was pretty funny, because he told Braun Strowman, and he goes, if you go into your match at Crown Jewel with the same old monster among men, if you go into your match doing that, Tyson Fury is going to knock you out cold. I don't want to see that, so I want out of my way to do something for you by creating a 345 slide in my PowerPoint presentation on how he could win against Tyson Fury. So they showed the first slide. It was Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury crudely drawn on this PowerPoint slide. And then he Braun Strowman just starts tearing into Gulak, and it was a squash match.
Right.
And of course, the Nakamura Reigns Bryan tag team match, which I was like, do I really want to continue writing with this? Because it was just a copy of what I wrote at the very beginning.
Right.
Just adding 2 more people.
Yeah, it's...
So, yeah.
Wow, this guy, Big Mac Moto, really hates John Cena.
Yeah, okay. Right on.
He asked why no super chat people can't donate. Y'all not YouTube partners?
Nope, not yet.
But
Give
we
us
will.
time.
Give us time.
Yep.
We'll get there. He also wants to know what we think of John Cena from scale of 1 to 10. Bradley, why don't you answer that one first?
1 being worst, 10 being best, I would say 0.5.
Oh, shit. What would you say?
I mean, are we ranking as just all time, whatever?
Yeah, he wanted to know. He said John Cena can also, Ashley said Cena can eat a D.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again,
I respect the hell out of John Cena.
Yeah, I was going to say here, I'm not part of...
I like me some John Cena.
I'm not part of the Cena hating people.
Yeah, I got respect.
I think there was he took... he came in at a time when they had just lost, they kind of lost some of the
big stars.
Big, huge stars. And he kind of just took over and
he ran with that
literally,
ball.
He carried the weight of the WWE on his shoulders alone for a while.
A long time, he did.
He did.
The guy, he was a performer, man. He got out there and he gave it everything he had for every match all the time. He's very much all about the fans. That man has alone personally granted more Make-A-Wish foundation wishes
he had the record
than anyone else of all time. I mean,
Undertaker's favorite moments out of whole career.
We will get back to that in another show. We do have to stick to our timeline and our format tonight, so we definitely appreciate that. And if you have, you want to go ahead and ask any more questions, I'd like to direct those to the 321screw.com. Go ahead and send
As a quick answer, the Mick Foley Hell in a Cell match.
That was amazing.
That's my favorite Taker moment. Yeah.
All right,
No
so
need to even go further.
So there was a lot of stuff going on Raw. There was some new stuff, which I actually found kind of refreshing. Like during what?
And I got notes.
Yeah, you got notes.
I got notes, man.
Okay.
I'm prepared.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So, anyways, Ric Flair introduces Drew McIntyre as his last member for his Crown Jewel
team.
Yeah. So Drew McIntyre comes out, and him and Flair have their little moment in the ring, and of course Ricochet's music comes on, and Ricochet and Drew McIntyre have a match. Well, during that match, did you guys notice that they decided they were going to interview Flair right there? Oh, before I get into that, before he introduces McIntyre, did you see what he said to the fan?
I missed like the first.
Yeah, I didn't catch
first 20 minutes of Raw this week.
So,
and which was that match and that stuff.
So, anyways, Flair's out there and he's doing his normal Flair promo, and somebody says something to him. It was inaudible, so you can't really hear it. But anyways, Flair looks at him and he goes, "Tell that to your girlfriend." He's like, "Yeah, I knew your mother."
Wow.
And then he goes back into his promo. So that was classic Flair. I had a big chuckle at that one.
Hey Casey, thanks for tuning in.
So
Big Mac Moto.
No.
So anyways, during the match, Ric Flair was being interviewed by one of the announcer ladies there. I can't remember her name. But anyways, she said something. And Ric Flair completely and totally forgot where he was. He was like, "Are we in Memphis? Or no, we're in Cleveland."
Well.
And I was like,
he is getting old. He's taking a lot of bumps.
Yep. Good old Rick.
But anyways, so Drew winds up winning that match against Ricochet with a Claymore kick to close that one out.
Yep.
Aleister Black music hits. That was pretty much a squash match for some random guy. I don't even know
his
who
name was Jason Reynolds.
Jason Reynolds.
Oh,
that was his first.
Black.
That was Aleister's first appearance on Raw. What I just take from that, when they do that, I feel like again that's to get them over.
Right.
Even more.
Right. I don't know that Aleister Black needs to get over it.
No. But I'm saying not to get over it. You know what? I take that back. Momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum. Give them the momentum. Yeah, it's gonna be.
So, but anyways, AOP had their little segment, which at this point,
I don't.
They need to come out or stop with the segments.
Yeah,
because
they'll get old quick.
Right,
it's not like the Firefly Funhouse.
No, because it's something different every time.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that they're saying something different, it's the same dialogue. Authors of Pain.
Although I really do want to see them go against the Viking Raiders.
I do too.
Yeah, I think that'd be an excellent match, dude. That'd be a lot of physicality.
There's not going to be any high flying top rope antics in that match.
Right. So, but anyways, after the AOP segment, Lawler was out in the ring and he calls Rusev out and
to do the King's Court.
No, well, to talk about the
but that's
Lana
what
thing.
he calls
his segment.
The
King's Court.
So, and Rusev is blaming it all on Lashley. He's poisoned Lana's brain and he will be crushed. And I'm still wearing my wedding band because I hope we will live happily ever after, yada, yada. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, and I'm a big WWE fan.
I am too.
But this whole storyline is garbage. This is a heaping... Oh, Keith, what's happening, man? So this is a heaping pile of dog turds. This Lashley
Yeah.
Lana Rusev thing.
I mean, I don't mind the Lashley, the Lashley Rusev idea of them two feuding, because I think that can make for a great feud. It's just the way they're going about, it's all the extra crap. Yeah, let's get to the
Let's get to
feud.
the feud.
Right.
Let's see some matches.
Well, it's gonna.
Hey Bobby, thanks for tuning in.
Yep, and they're gonna be, because they're on opposing teams for the Crown
Right.
Jewel. It'll continue. They'll probably see if they can get maybe another pay-per-view out of it.
Probably.
Maybe they're trying to. I think they're just trying to have a rivalry with all the contestants.
Yeah.
It's a
So
remake of the Macho Man Elizabeth Lex Luger junk.
yes, I agree.
Good point, Dale.
Good.
Oh, and thanks for tuning in, by
Yep.
the way.
Right on.
So
Those of you
anyways,
that don't know, Dale, right there.
Dale.
Me and him, we grew up in the same neighborhood together. We lived
From
in
Dade?
from
Dade
back in
County.
Homestead.
nice.
I mean, we went to elementary school, junior high, and high school together.
Right
Nice,
on.
man.
Thanks for
I-
tuning in, man. Appreciate it.
He used to, we used to play football in the side yard. When
Raise
we
some
were,
hell.
when
Heck
we were
yeah.
children.
So sorry for going back into this,
Sorry, I
but
see
we're
it
just
on there. I wanted to say what's up.
What's
Okay.
up?
But so anyways, Raw returns from after the whole Lana Rusev thing, and then Andrade comes out and he is fighting against Sin Cara, and Zelina
Yeah, I
Vega.
saw that.
Hey,
Zelina,
Tange.
Zelina Vega, does commentary and says what Sin Cara means. It means without a face.
Oh,
So
did not know that.
That was a hell of a match, though, man.
Yes,
Sin
it
Cara
was.
and Andrade.
Yeah.
That was a damn good match.
I can't wait for that Carrillo guy to go against Andrade. I want to see that so
Be a good
bad.
match.
Yeah, and he was backstage watching the Sin Cara
Yes, he was.
Andrade match. Sin Cara he's really, I think he's a good wrestler. I really hope they kind of try to pump him up a little
Sin
bit more.
Cara?
Sin Cara, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Sin
been there a
Cara's-
long time.
Sin Cara is a hell of a performer, man.
But I will.
but this is
interject.
the third incarnation of Sin
Yeah,
Cara.
that's what I was gonna say. He's been 3 different people have been Sin
well, the
Cara.
guy who is Sin Cara now,
Right.
he's been Sin
Yeah.
Cara for a little bit now, but he's pretty damn good. And they put on a hell of a
Yeah,
match.
you remember Camacho? He used to ride around with Kuniko on the bicycle.
Yeah.
Camacho, I believe, was Sin Cara at one point.
So, anyways,
But
R-Truth is seen in the equipment truck, sneaking around, and then he runs into one of the Singh brothers who, is holding his Bollywood trophies and everything, and he was like, "No, I'm an actor, I'm on my way to an audition," and so all out of nowhere, the other Singh brother pins R-Truth for the 24/7/11/94 title.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wait, there was 2 of them?
yeah.
wow.
So, but anyways, the Viking Raiders.
He's good.
I love the 24/7 title with Truth holding it only for that
Makes
reason.
it entertaining.
He does. So,
What's your take on Cain Velasquez and Croc Lesbo?
so
Croc Lesbo. I guess somebody gave Brock Lesnar a new name.
So, but anyways, the Viking Raiders music hits and they head to the ring with Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, which, anyways, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins afterwards said that they were honored to have a tag championship title match on Raw. So,
yeah.
they were just honored to be on Raw that night.
And again, I'm going to say this real quick. Ryder and Hawkins, man, I'm so glad they put them back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool because there's history there. They're a good tag team, man, and they're best of friends in real life. So, I mean, those type of tag teams always work out the best, man.
So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick with Rollins offering Carrillo a match, which that was one hell of a match
Yes, it was.
between Rollins and Carrillo. And I will tell you, Carrillo is an amazing in-ring performer. I have high hopes that he is going to be something in the WWE.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, last but not least, the end of the night, they ended off with a tag team match, which is the OC against the Street Profits.
They did.
Which the Street Profits were supposed to come up with a third partner, which that person never came out
Until.
And then they made it a tag team.
Right.
Yeah. Could I just say this real quick about Raw, dude? One of my favorite parts on Raw, just real quick. Rey Mysterio came out. He was going to cut a promo, and he was interrupted. He was interrupted by Shelton Benjamin and Paul Heyman. I kind of thought this was cool. Shelton Benjamin was kind of like, bullying Rey Mysterio under Brock Lesnar's behalf or for. And it was cool because they brought up the history of those two used to be in a tag team in OVW.
Yeah.
So, Shelton Benjamin was running his mouth and gonna attack, Ray.
Right.
Cain Velasquez comes out and slams him around and chokes him out.
See, and I'm with Brad on this one. It was okay up to that point because I thought the whole little confrontation between Velasquez and Benjamin was kind of
mediocre.
Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, Velasquez doesn't really.
No, his.
He's.
Maybe they
you could definitely see where he's having a hard time. You're like not
adjusting,
not going UFC.
Right.
He's in a new workplace. He's got to adjust, guys.
Right. No, the whole idea of what they did was cool.
Right.
It was the execution of the assault part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When it comes to the physical, Velasquez and
Brock Lesnar, I mean, that's going to be a completely and totally different thing. So
yeah, but yeah, but yeah, it did end on a high note with that Carrillo match. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Carrillo match was good. I kind of glazed over the Shelton Benjamin, Velasquez, Rey Mysterio thing because it was just. I mean, to me, it was kind of like it was agonizing to watch. Really, I mean, and I know that Shelton Benjamin was selling it the best that he could, but I mean,
Like I said, up until that point, I didn't have no issue with it. I thought it was cool because, like Joey said, he was kind of talking about. He says, "I know Brock Lesnar.
Right.
I helped train Brock Lesnar. But they went to the same school. Like they both University of Minnesota.
And then they went to OVW together. Yeah, when they got signed.
I like that part. He's like, so is that how it works? Huh? Do I come? Because he's talking about Velasquez. But so if I come out here and I smack you around a little bit, push you around, I get a title shot. Yeah, like I said, up to that point it was fine. But then Velasquez come out and it was just it was like. Once he come in and he attacks Benjamin, that part was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
That could have been done better. But
So that rounds out my input for this week's shows.
So then we'll pick up with, of course, Tuesday.
Right, Tuesday.
Which was the third showing of the NWA Power Hour.
Right.
So for those of you who are not aware of this, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, front man. Used to be with the TNA, and then he had that debacle. He bought NWA. He took it over and kind of gonna, breathe new life into it. And they went back to the old school way of doing things. Back in the old, NWA studio wrestling, Gordon Soley kind of, type feel. So, and that show is the Power Hour, which is on, Tuesday nights on YouTube. The show is aired on YouTube. So that one starts off with Eddie Kingston. He came out and he was, voicing his anger and disapproval with the interference last week by the Dawsons during their tag title match that him and Homicide had against the Wild Cards.
LAX.
And, basically, it's LAX. And he talked about how they wanted a match against them, with the Dawsons to settle the score.
Right. So
and that was, he just come out and said his thing, and he stormed off in the back, and that's what Cornette voiced that that old catchphrase that he's talking about. That Eddie Kingston, he's crazier than a rainbow trout in a car wash. Again, I'm not sure what the hell that means. But
It sounds cool.
it sounds like someone would be. I would imagine a rainbow trout would be acting kind of crazy in a car wash.
That would
could
be.
imagine
Yeah,
so.
that would be. That would
It
be.
started off at the first match they had was a ladies match with Marty Bell versus Crystal Rose. It was an alright match, it's new. They're you can tell they're new. They were kind of still fresh. So, but hey, they put on a good show. But Marty Bell got the pinfall with a variation of the pedigree. She did.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So and then after that match was over, then that's when the Dawsons came out to respond to Eddie Kingston's challenge. The crowd started. It was funny when they come out. The crowd started chanting Dawson's Creek, Dawson's Creek, Dawson's. And I mean, the Dawsons are these two big guys. One looks kind of almost Amish-like with a shaved head and his beard, no mustache. Kind of look. But when they came out, talking some trash, they said that that they'll face anybody in the back except for Homicide and Kingston.
Why is
They
that?
won't. Don't know. Probably just to piss them off. We'll take on anybody but you guys.
Right on.
So, I mean, obviously that's not gonna. So they said that, and then they went back to the back, and then they did a little teaser promo for some new female wrestler that's coming called Thunder Rosa.
I've heard of her.
So she looked kind of impressive in those little teaser trailer. So it'll be interesting to see when she comes in.
Yep.
And then Aaron Stevens comes out, or Sandow, as some of you may know him. Damien Sandow. He's now part of NWA under his real name, Aaron Stevens. He comes out dressed like a pirate in some crazy, get-up. And he's coming to promote his new movie, Tropical Pirates. The crowd's chanting, Captain Morgan. He's like, I'm not Captain Morgan. And he starts going on, and he shows this cheesy clip of it. It looks like a movie. It looks like him and his buddies made themselves. It's kind of funny. And then he talks. He says, when it comes to my acting, not to step on anyone's toes. He says, but I got more chops than Ric Flair.
Nobody has more chops than the Nature Boy.
Now I want pork chops.
And then he went off into the back.
I do kind of
so,
too, man. Why don't you go cook some up, bro? We'll take it from here.
The next match come up was between these two guys, Caleb Conley and Dan Parker.
I saw some of that.
There was a lot of trash talk that was done by Parker to start off the match, but he ended up losing to Conley with via top rope moonsault.
Got a little bit of drama going on.
So,
Chat.
yeah.
So real quick, Big Mac Moto, we are using Streamlabs, but thank you very much for your concern, and we will address any and all technical matters aside from the chat. But thank you very much.
So next we got the former NWA champ Tim Storm. He comes out doing an interview. Tim Storm was the guy that the current champion Nick Aldis took the title from. He was the NWA champ, and then Tim Storm was the NWA champ. Nick Aldis, formerly Magnus of TNA, he's the champ now, and he took the title from Tim Storm. Well, last week, the first week, he offered a match to Tim Storm, for the NWA heavyweight title, saying that this is your one and only chance. He said, if you lose, you never challenge for this title again. So they had a match. It was a good match, and Tim Storm lost. So Nick Aldis went out. So Tim Storm come out to kind of talk about that. And he started talking, sounding like a guy who was contemplating retirement. When a guy named Eli Drake came out, made an offer for Storm and him to join together and go after the tag titles.
Right on.
Drake says that he says, in fact, I've already got us a match booked tonight against the Dawsons. So Storm just kind of looks at him and says, I'll think about it and let you know, and walks off. So we don't know if it's going to happen.
Okay.
Right.
So next out comes a guy by the name of Josephus.
Yes, I saw
And
this.
he come out stating that he wanted to apologize to James Storm because the week or week before, he come out screaming about how he wanted Storm, and James Storm come out and they started fighting. So, he said he wanted James Storm to come out and shake his hand. Well, Colt Cabana comes out, with this Josephus guy standing over by the ring. Colt Cabana comes out, and starts kind of, messing, teasing with this Josephus guy. This guy had a bag, and he pulls the bag out, and he had a cowboy hat in it. I guess these were going to be offerings for James Storm. So Colt Cabana he puts the hat on, and he's kind of dancing around, being silly, goofy. The Josephus pulls a beer bottle out, and he's got this beer, and he's pretending. So Josephus now he's acting like, okay, this is James Storm, and he's like, I want to shake your hand.
I want to shake your hand.
So, Colt Cabana, reaches out, goes to shakes his hand, and that's when this Josephus guy throws powder of some kind that was in the bag, throws it in the face of Colt Cabana, blind him, throws him in the ring.
Shit.
Yeah, throws him in the ring. Josephus goes in after him, starts, attacking, beating on him, and he gets down and he's standing, he's waiting for Colt Cabana to stand up. Well, unbeknownst to him, James Storm had come in the ring behind him and was standing behind him. So when Josephus turns around, James Storm gives him a super kick. And and then after he does the super kick to Josephus, who kind of rolls out of the ring, then he starts kind of sizing up Colt Cabana, who's starting to get to his feet, and he looks like he's sizing him up for a super kick as well. And that's when Ken Anderson comes out and grabs him by the leg and pulls him out.
Takes him out of the ring. I saw that.
And
I like that they're using them as a tag.
So then they did a Nick Aldis interview, and he talks about how he'll be watching the competition to see who steps up to get a shot at his 10 pounds of gold. And the interviewer's got some issue with Camille not talking. He keeps wanting her to talk, but she don't say anything.
Right.
She's quiet.
Yeah, she refuses to talk. Quiet. So, and that's the end of that. So that's when Nick Aldis says, "Don't ever accuse me of not letting her talk. When she's got something that, important to say, she'll say it." And then they walk off.
All right, fair enough.
And then the main event was Eli Drake comes out for his match with the Dawsons, and Tim Storm does end up coming out and joining, and they go on a match, and it's a good match. It's going back and forth. It's they're putting on a good show, and Eli Drake gets thrown into a ring post. Like shoulder to the ring post. So he's out of commission outside the ring. The two Dawsons kind of team up on Tim Storm, kind of beating on him, and they continue just a double team attack on him until Kingston and Homicide show up, run in, and they chase the Dawsons to the back. And the Power Hour ends with Nick Aldis coming out to the ring, checking on Tim Storm and making sure he's okay. So we'll see we'll see where it goes from there.
Right on.
But, I would like to see James Storm
get the title.
Get a run at the title, because
me too.
He pretty much set it up already. He said what his intentions are.
Sorry about your damn luck.
Yep.
So yeah.
So well, moving on to AEW real quick. I'll just recap. I'm probably going to do a shorter version than you guys.
Yeah, we did definitely talk quite a bit.
I just want to give a recap on some of the main things that happened. Mind you, the big storyline between Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. I think it is going to be a fantastic match in 2 weeks. You have Jericho's faction involved, the Inner Circle, which has Jack Hager, which has...
Jake Hager.
I thought it's Jack.
It's Jake Hager. He was Jack Swagger.
But he's going by... Jake Hager. And then you have the LAX dude... What was his name? Homicide. And then you have Guevara.
No, Homicide is
in NWA.
That's right.
Homicide.
So, but you have Jericho's team, and Cody Rhodes was pretty much talking to them. They were up in the skybox. They interrupted Cody Rhodes' promo before he could really even start. and Cody kind of took a dig at WWE. Cody decides to get out of the ring, leg over the rope. He's staring up at them at the skybox, and he's saying, we don't work for a company where I can't do this, pretty much, and gets out of the ring, pretty much taking a dig at Vince McMahon's WWE because they have a lot more creative control.
Right.
So I thought that was a little bit funny. And, then Dustin Rhodes comes out, then, is it MFJ? MJF? MJF, Cody's best friend, comes out to help him, and they go up to the top. Oh, and alongside with Diamond Dallas Page.
And Dustin Rhodes.
I said Dustin Rhodes. Yeah, see? Listen. So, they go up. They're going to go up to the skybox. They're going to go beat up the Inner Circle. And Jericho kept talking smack. And before all that, he used the words, and I quote, he called Cody a millennial bitch. Which I like hearing that kind of stuff on AEW, man. That's
and
some
again,
funny shit.
Like we were saying earlier too, I thought it was kind of funny when MJF come out and he's all about, what is this guy? He's wearing a scarf.
Yeah, who wears a scarf? Who's going to be scared of him?
Who's scared of a guy wearing a scarf, which is just ironic.
Jericho did that in his last run of WWE.
Yeah.
Here's your list.
He gave a scarf to Braun Strowman.
So real quick, let me just go down the rundown on some of the stuff. Another main focus of the show was the tag team tournament, the semifinals, to crown the very first AEW tag team champions.
Yep.
And you had the Private Party versus the Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros won that great contest. Then you also had the SCU versus the Dark Order. SCU was victorious. We also had Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. Great match. We also had We also have the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends. We also had the main event, which was Jon Moxley versus Pac, which ended in a draw because AEW's kind of doing the old school thing, giving them TV time matches. So if the time goes out, there's a draw. That's kind of old school there, Yeah. That's a little bit NWA-ish too, And also WWE did do that back in the day. So, that's pretty much what I got for AEW.
Am I the only one who thinks Pac is like just, for a short dude, he is one jacked guy.
Is he Pac or Pac?
Pac.
Because I've heard Jim Ross say Pac. Maybe that's just how he says it.
Yeah,
but
tomato.
Before we segue into the topic of the night, which is going to have to, there's going to be 30 minutes to that. But anyways, we just wanted to go ahead and touch on the little bit of, controversy that's out there right now with Kylie Ray leaving AEW to go to Impact. There's speculation that, it had to do with inappropriate conversations between her and a certain AEW superstar. I don't really want to go ahead and exacerbate, errant information, but we will definitely keep you up to date once we find out more. Kylie Ray, she was there at All Out for the pay-per-view. She wrestled on one or two of the live shows, and then she's gone.
Yeah.
And then she just showed up at Bound for Glory this past Sunday with Impact. You
got to look at it this way too, man. When contracts are up, or sometimes before,
it wasn't even that, man. Their contracts weren't up. They asked for their release, Jerry Ryan from AEW also showed up.
Really?
On Impact.
Well, didn't you say they had like some kind of thing going on where it was like AEW and Impact, there was like invading or no?
I thought that was the case, but that's not it.
Because it could be they're working on a handshake deal. Vince McMahon had a kind of deal like that with Paul Heyman, with ECW guys. Maybe it's just I don't know. Right. That could be. But either way,
speculation.
Yes.
At this point, it is pure speculation. There is no fact base behind anything that we're saying right now, other than Joey Short.
I am, guys. It's
so
something I've had to deal with all my life.
We can't. We got to touch on a few things at NXT though, man, because
Go for it.
NXT was an amazing show this week. I
That's
thought.
what I heard.
Matt Riddle again. Matt Riddle. The dude's going to be a star, man. He's going to be a big star because the crowd loves him.
He's over.
He is over. He's kind of got that charismatic kind of appeal to him. I mean, people dig the character, and he's a fucking phenomenal performer, just unbelievable. So we had that match. His was a great match. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair put on a hell of a match.
Right on.
I mean that was damn good, and I see why you like that Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's badass. Man.
Oh yeah.
She's just completely total badass.
phenomenal.
So is Bianca Belair, man. I was watching that.
Yeah.
She's the one with that real long braided ponytail.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Oh, I've seen her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was
A lot of great prospects in NXT right now.
oh yeah.
Yes.
A lot of great.
There was there was a women's tag match where they had for the number one contendership for women's tag team, and this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the winners of this match, which it was oh my god, now I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Shayna Baszler.
No, she's the champ.
Oh.
The new chick who just came back.
Oh, yeah, God, I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
I know, it was right there, and then
I don't know, folks.
So, yeah, I know who you're talking about. She just came back from a quad injury or something.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But they ended up winning the match. But they are going to, and William Regal came out and announced before this women's number one contender match that the winner of it was going to face the Kabuki Warriors on NXT next week. So the Kabuki Warriors are going to defend their tag titles
On
next
NXT.
week on NXT against these two chicks who
Interesting.
just won.
Interesting.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's kind of wild.
How about we talk about Finn Balor?
Well, we can't not talk about Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Becoming a heel.
Yeah.
Don't build up to it.
I just
Just
went
right
for it,
out
guys.
there.
I went right for it.
So, anyways,
Finn Balor a heel.
trying to. Would you shut up?
He put Crisco on that slip and slide.
Jesus. So
What does
it
he
was
got
the
to
whole
do with it?
undisputed, huh?
I said, what does he got to do with it?
There was the whole undisputed era. There was
This guy.
Roderick Strong had it was a triple threat match. Roderick Strong against Keith Lee and Dijakovic, which was a great match. And Keith Lee and Dijakovic, those guys are bad.
Who?
Dijakovic.
Kajagugu?
Yeah, Kajagugu, too shy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a triple threat. It was a hell of a match. Of course, there was Undisputed Era interference.
Right.
Roderick Strong, retained the title. And all four of them are out in the ring celebrating, with their belts in the air. And some music kicks up, and who comes out? Tommaso Ciampa. Has a little face off there. He comes walking to the ring. He's standing right outside the ring. They're standing there. Music kicks up. Joe Gargano comes out. They were used to Gargano and Ciampa were a tag team.
Right.
DIY.
Right.
So they come out standing there. Now it's those two and the four from Undisputed Era. And then the third music kicks up, which is Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes out standing in between them. So now it's looking like all three of them, and the four. And everyone kept expecting Velveteen Dream to come out too to make it 4-4 because they attacked him, before. But it was just three of them. They start to walk towards the ring. And Finn Balor kind of steps out ahead and then just does a jump Pele kick Gargano to the head.
Right.
And as they went in the ring, and then Undisputed Era guys, or no, they got in the ring. They got in the ring and they're facing on the ring, and that's when he does that to Gargano, and then the 4 Undisputed guys start beating the crap out of Ciampa, just pummeling him.
Right.
And then Balor goes outside the ring where Gargano's at, and proceeds to just start decimating him. Spearing him, in through the barricades, and then does some sort of move where he like picks him up and slams his head into the rampway.
Right.
And then all 4 Undisputed Era guys are all standing there doing their thing, that they do.
Yeah.
All 4 of them, they're looking at Balor, who's standing on the rampway over a fallen Gargano. Everyone was like waiting to see, oh my God, is he joining the Undisputed Era? They were waiting for him to do it. But instead, he did the Bullet Club,
right.
thing, 2 fingers at Gargano, and backs up, walks out.
Huh.
So now everyone's talking. For one, the Finn Balor heel turn was just, of course, everyone's like, oh my God, he let the darkness in.
Right.
But,
yeah, that was. I mean, I didn't really, watch it. I watched a little bit of snippet of it, with how that unfolded, and
it was surprising because I honestly thought there was about to be, just for the 4-on-3
right.
they're going, because the whole thing when Balor first showed up, he got right in, Adam Cole's face,
right.
telling him I am NXT.
Right.
So, but now you gotta wonder, is Balor just turned heel, gonna be his own thing? Is he aligned with Undisputed Era? Is he going to
right.
become part of Undisputed Era? Are they going to be the Undisputed Club?
Right.
As a combination of the Balor Club thing. But
who knows?
Real quick before we get into our topic, I just wanted to say, well wishes to La Parka.
Yes.
Because
yes.
La Parka, even though he's still wrestling from WCW, he took a dive out of the ring and he hit his head, which then wound up fracturing one of his vertebrae.
Yeah.
So he messed himself up pretty bad, and he's going to be out of action for a couple months, if not years.
if
But
not just being the end of his career, possibly.
yeah,
Possibly.
I know the severity of it.
La Parka has always been one of my favorites. The chairman of the board.
Oh yeah, I go back my days of WCW. I like La Parka,
La Parka's always
Psychosis,
dancing.
Juventude, all of them.
They're out there doing the the chair in their hand.
WCW, man.
Yep. So, but anyways, going into our topic of the night, is women of wrestling. So, it from the way that it started till now is completely and totally changed.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
It actually, what it has done, it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Yes.
Because it started here, and it got up, with Moolah, which I didn't know this till recently. I didn't realize that Moolah was the NWA Women's Champion, came from there to WWE.
Yep.
Right.
Well, WWF as the Women's Champion.
Right.
And then there were Moolah and the Wendy Richter and, all those. So it kind of was on the rise. And then, Alundra Blaze come along,
Yep.
who, she... and
she was their star for the women's
and
division
then
at that time.
It just all of a sudden Vince decided that which even still back then he wasn't real big on them, but he kind of just changed directions altogether. Decided going with the more risque type. He gets rid of almost all of the women, the legit women wrestlers, which of course, as we all know, led to the whole Alundra Blaze
Becoming Medusa.
Becoming Medusa in WCW, dropping that
the trash can
belt in the trash can.
Well, technically, she was Medusa first, and then Vince didn't want to pay her to use the Medusa name.
Oh, she owned that name?
She owned that name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then it went from actual women wrestling, and do good too. Now it developed into where the women, they became
sex symbols,
valets and managers, and
right.
they did silly shit. They would have
God,
pajama, party and lingerie,
bra and panties match,
pool party matches, and
puppies.
pillow, the diva pillow fight,
Or what about the pudding match?
The pudding match, exactly.
Yeah. You know, but
Exactly.
I mean,
And,
it was a pretty. I mean, even though that it was the Attitude Era, I mean, it was still kind of misogynistic and sexist.
Yeah.
It
then-
was.
and
It
then they
was at that
kind of-
time. I mean,
Then they kind of changed it up a little bit. Now they brought in, chicks that, they were still, attractive eye candy, so to speak,
Right.
but they could perform. You know,
Right.
they could wrestle. Your Trish Stratus, your Litas,
Michelle
Molly
McCool,
Holly,
Michelle McCool,
exactly.
yeah.
Jacqueline,
Layla.
and
Ivory.
Oh, definitely.
Right. So, but still, they were an afterthought. They weren't
Right.
really. I mean,
Although
they
during
were,
that era,
their matches were no more than 5 minutes. Their matches would be 5 minutes, or
Right.
less.
but during that era, they did make some milestones. Trish Stratus and Lita
Yeah, I had a
was the
few of
very
them
first
here.
women's main event for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Trish and Lita, first Monday Night Raw main event.
So that was history.
Victoria and Lita, first female women's cage match.
Yes. Yep.
Jacqueline was the first female cruiserweight champ. Molly Holly was the first women's hardcore champ.
Yep.
Yep.
of course,
She
we
beat
all
up
know
the
that-
Hurricane.
We all know
Of
about
course, we all
China.
know China being the first women's
Intercontinental
intercontinental champ.
champion.
Yep.
Which that was a
You know.
trendsetter. That was something that was unheard of.
Well,
And they broke
China
that
started the
mold with
movement.
China.
China started the whole
Absolutely,
movement
they
of,
did.
of women wrestling men, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dude.
Because they didn't do that before. Really,
that was a
before that.
segment for Vince's show every week. That was that. That was that attraction. That
Right.
part of the show you were going to see every week.
That
with
was
her.
the third circle in the three-wing circus.
Yes.
Yes.
But look how long
You know,
it took her before she even
but-
started in the women's division.
It's just a shame. You think about what the women's wrestling. We could have had stuff like what we have now with women's wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Had they not, kind of went away from that back then.
It was just
They kept it going because think about it. Women's wrestling in the '80s well, I don't know that you recall that, but
I know.
in the '80s, women's
Glow.
wrestling was pretty. Yeah, Glow Wrestling was
Glow
big.
was
was
amazing.
huge.
I watched it.
Glow
So
every
did I.
week.
It was
I watched
every-
it live.
It was every Saturday
or
night.
Sunday or one of those.
Yeah, one
It
of
was
those
on the
nights.
weekend.
And I love the show Glow on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
actually watched Glow Wrestling.
Right.
No,
Right.
I was
You know,
just
some
putting
of
it
the-
out there for our
Right,
fans.
right.
There's a show called Glow.
Glorious Ladies of Wrestling.
Yep.
Gorgeous
which-
ladies.
Gorgeous
Yes.
Ladies. That's right. And they, if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of the bigger talent from WWE went to wrestle for that promotion.
Yeah.
After
Yeah, 'cause it was
you know,
all women.
Yeah,
Right.
because once Vince wasn't using anybody, they needed somewhere to go.
exactly.
So,
You know, but so I mean, and now WOW Women of Wrestling is on Saturdays. It's actually their own show. It's an all women
League.
wrestling show. So I mean, it's kind of like NWA. It's kind of like Impact and stuff like that. But it's only women, which I think is
Interesting.
awesome because now they have women announcers, they have women
Women refs.
women referees. So and it is, I mean, there's no
man.
sexist undertones at all,
Right.
So that they don't have to deal with that.
And you don't get that from WWE.
Here's the
Right.
women talking about
Yeah.
women wrestling. People think people talk about the women with the tag teams now. A little known fact, but from '83 to '89, there was a women's tag team title championship belt.
Yep.
in WWE,
But-
or we're
yeah,
talking
Yeah.
NWA.
No, WWF.
Yeah.
And they did away with it and all, but now when it comes back, they're making it seem like, oh, we have women's set, which
Right.
they had it before,
Right.
And was successful, but that was pre Vince letting all the wrestlers go.
Well,
Right.
let me just real quick. Let me just ask you guys this because I was kind of wondering when I wrote down some of the ones that I liked throughout the different generations. If you had to pick one valet that's been a known valet in any promotion, who would you think was the best that did that well?
Was the best valet.
Valet.
Now are we talking? I
I'm
mean,
gonna go Miss Elizabeth first.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
just say that.
because I mean, what would you consider valet though? Because I mean, if you want to look at it, Trish Stratus was the valet for TNA, Test and Albert.
Yes, that's true.
Lita was a valet for
S.A.
the Hardy
Rios,
Boys
too. S.A. Rios.
and S.A. Rios. So I mean, there was
Ivory was for Right to Censor, and then she wrestled, but
Right.
she was acting as a
Well,
valet.
we can go back
Sensational
we can go back
Sherry.
a little further. Woman
woman with Chris Benoit.
with Chris Benoit and Kevin
Oh,
Sullivan, who,
Yep.
as we all know,
What
went on to marry Chris Benoit, and then
Right.
we all know what happened with that. But
Right.
Right.
But yeah, she started out as a valet for. She was actually with Sullivan
China.
first.
China was a valet.
Yep.
Yeah, China was a
That
valet
Charlie
with
did-
DX.
That's true. Shawn Michaels, Triple H brought her in.
I would probably, since you mentioned that, I would probably say China would probably be the best valet.
I
because
loved it
China
because
was-
she did bodyguards so good.
Exactly, that was just it. You got these four big, wrestling, built, buffed up wrestling dudes, and their protection bodyguard outside the ring was this jacked up chick, China,
I wouldn't have
who
fought
did a
her.
good job. No,
She would have killed you.
yeah,
She
yeah,
would have killed me. She would have killed Bradley.
yeah. She was.
Nah. Okay, let me go like this. During the 80s, who do you think was the best women's wrestler of that time in your mind? Not
from the
what
80s.
not what history shows. I'm just saying, in your opinion, who was your favorite?
Wendy Richter. Was
Wendy
the best,
Richter?
I think.
I like the Lunger Blaze.
I seriously, as much as everybody didn't like her, I loved it because she was coming out with Bam Bam Bigelow, and that was Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon.
Luna, yeah, you know what?
She was a
She was
badass.
talented.
Yeah, and then she kind of was the valet for the Oddities too.
Yes, she was for a little while.
Everybody come see the greatest.
And then in ECW, she was Gangrel's.
Yes.
And then she got married to Gangrel in real life.
And then she died.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't have to go there, but you did.
Oh, shocker, everyone. Luna Vachon passed away.
Right. So,
So
okay,
Miss
so
Elizabeth-
let's talk about.
Miss Elizabeth was.
I thought Miss.
I never
Elizabeth
really.
was
I don't know
great.
that I ever really thought of Miss Elizabeth as a valet because she didn't really do.
She was just always out there with Mach.
Yeah, she just accompanied her to the ring.
That's it.
She never really did a whole lot. There wasn't where, oh my God, Miss Elizabeth getting involved. She
How
never
about-
really did a whole lot to
how
help
about-
him. She just kind of stood out there.
How about Marlena?
Marlena,
She was
With
good.
Gold
I liked
Dust.
her gimmick. The director's seat with the cigar, gold dress.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and unpopular opinion here.
Oh boy, here we
So
go.
yep, here we go. So to me, I think Miss Elizabeth was the Roman Reigns of the era. I honestly think that she was what WWE or WWF was forcing down everybody's throat.
Oh, when
Miss
you put it
Elizabeth-
that way.
Right. Miss Elizabeth this, Miss Elizabeth that. And it was like, because Miss Elizabeth was the popular thing at the time.
Well, she
And
was
everybody
also
just kept putting her out there.
One of the only ones female at that time in WWE.
Okay.
Right.
too.
But how about
I mean, what was there, like 3 of them?
Sensational Sherry was there at the time, and she was very entertaining.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But Miss Elizabeth was the WWF sweetheart, dude. Everyone loved Miss Elizabeth. She's so seems so pure and innocent.
She would be the prom queen.
Little
I
did
got
we
you.
know that
Yeah.
she was the type of chick that would run a rail of blow off of you,
Right.
off your chest, and
Really?
well.
I know. I
she
heard
did
the whole
die of a
thing.
drug overdose,
I'm just
Joey.
saying. Again, he's got to go there. So,
Again, it's not a big secret that I just pipe bomb.
he just popped
Miss
it.
Elizabeth died of a drug overdose.
What are you saying?
So
What just happened?
What is this?
whenever the WWE was in the over sexualizing of women, especially from 2008 to was it 2012, it was like really really bad.
Yeah, but at that, you can't forget, WCW did the same thing.
WCW
The
did do the
Nitro
same
Girls,
thing, yes.
number one. Then you had Major Guns,
Which
she had Major Guns.
So you had Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler,
Yep.
and Maria that all came over that were Nitro Girls.
Yeah, and then there
Right.
was
Right. Shawn Michaels' wife was a
Charmel, who
Charmel,
married
yeah.
to Booker,
Booker
T.
T.
Yep.
She was a Nitro girl.
Yep.
There was DDP's wife, Kimberly Page.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
She
Yeah.
was the Nitro girl.
And she became the NWO chick.
Wow.
But
But then Eric Bischoff's chick, apparently.
So, but then here we have, now, but I gotta say, I'm glad. I'm glad that women's wrestling has gotten to where it is now because
right.
it adds just that much more to it. I
It does.
think.
Right.
It
Oh, yeah.
does.
I
Well-
enjoy it. I think it's cool as hell that they did a pay-per-view that was just women,
Evolution, yes.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
And you know why they did that? Really? I mean, in all honesty, people can say what they will.
It was a gimmick.
Well,
but-
it was because Crown Jewel couldn't have no women there.
Right, exactly.
Because of the whole Saudi Arabia thing, and the women and all. It just, they weren't allowed to go there and compete.
Right,
So because they couldn't do that, they're like, you know what, we'll have our own, we'll do Evolution.
right.
Because that first one, happened,
2018.
but it happened right around the time of the Crown Jewel.
Correct.
So that was their
which-
version of that.
That's right. They did do that. It was
Yeah.
in the same week.
Yep.
Exactly.
But I mean,
Right.
But you got them now headlining WrestleMania.
right.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey,
And
Charlotte Flair.
They had
So
the main event last year, didn't they?
right.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, now the titles, also changed over the years. You had the Divas title that just pretty much just
Disappeared.
I mean,
it was shaped like a little butterfly.
right,
Yeah, that was like the end of the Divas stuff. That was
right.
I'm glad they said now this is the women's championship, and
So-
then they split it off to the two shows.
Right, Raw and SmackDown Women's
Mhm.
Championships. But the Divas Championship was around from 2008 to 2016, with the
8
first,
years.
with the first Divas champ being the Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool.
That's right.
And then the longest Divas champ was Nikki Bella.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
They let her beat AJ Lee's because wasn't she like?
Well, AJ Lee, she did have the women's title before the Divas Championship, which, I mean, it wasn't as prestigious as what the
what it was.
Divas Championship was.
Right.
And then it was followed up with the Raw Women's Championship, which was the 2016 to current.
Yeah.
When the first champ being Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. The current state of women's wrestling now, you can really NXT is who we have to thank for that,
Oh yeah,
because
all of
in the WWE, up there, they were still kind of, like you said, they were 5 minute or less matches. There was that little filler match that they would throw in, before a main event or something. It just wasn't
Or a P match, bathroom match.
exactly right. But you had these chicks that were in NXT, women like AJ Lee and Paige.
And
Emma,
Yeah.
they were putting on, damn good shows, and they were getting noticed, and then they come up,
That is.
Ashley's mom.
and then, they came up, they brought up, Paige, AJ Lee, and up to the main roster, but you still had your Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley,
The
Yeah.
four
And
horsewomen.
the four horsewomen
of the
in
NXT.
NXT.
and they
And then they came up, and then when they came up, and this was a Stephanie McMahon thing, that she was the one who kind of got behind that. The women's push as to what it is now is kind of Stephanie McMahon kind of helping that, get
Right.
that going.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
it's kind of the thing about it when they brought them up. All these popular women right now, they all came up at the same time, like the same night, pretty much.
Right,
You
right.
know, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, all of them came out like that same night. They brought them out.
Yeah.
So,
The whole AJ Lee and Paige pretty much changing the face of women's wrestling what it is today.
Oh, without a doubt.
Exactly.
You know, they were the ones, the forefront of this women's movement.
Yeah, right. The whole modern,
Especially where it is right now.
right.
You know.
The modern female wrestling, what it is and where it's at.
And I
Which
just
it was,
I mean,
they
look
were
at
the
today-
catalyst for
look
it.
at
Right.
look at today's product now. Let's go to the main one, WWE. You
Raw.
have Raw,
Okay.
SmackDown, either one.
Either one.
Either
Okay.
one. But what I'm saying is
Just
that
WWE period.
yes. So what I'm saying is you look at the stars like Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and where they're at now. It's cool because like when I was a kid, I'd watch stars, just the men's stars, you know, that's who they were pushing.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing that they're getting the same thing finally
Right.
that the men have. They're getting pushed.
Right,
To-
and it's
to-
only
to
fair
the
because
top.
women
It
are
is
just
fair.
as big fans.
Absolutely.
And
Ladies and
just
gentlemen.
as good of athletes as the
Oh,
men.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these,
Without
these
a doubt.
women. I mean, I wouldn't have lasted a second in the ring with some
I
of
mean,
these.
let's think about the women wrestling
Alexa
that are out
Bliss.
there right now. You know, I mean, think
Alexa
about the
Bliss.
women's wrestlers that the WWE has right now. You know, WWE, NXT. You know that are legit. You know,
Badasses.
Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks,
Yeah.
Bailey, Becky Lynch,
Even though that I'm not a fan of hers, Natalia,
Natalia, Sonya Deville, Ruby Riott. I mean, they have MMA backgrounds.
Right, exactly.
Asuka.
Yes, Asuka
Um,
with her, she's got a martial arts background.
Right, exactly. I mean, in NXT, you know, the Rhea Ripleys and Bianca Belairs, and
Yeah,
you know, you got these women wrestlers who can go out there over TNA. You know, your Tessa Blanchard.
yeah.
You know,
Huh.
who is
Fighting several different guys in a match.
I just want to read this real quick. Viewership for AEW Dynamite falls under 1 million, still beats NXT. So AEW is still, even with their viewership dropping a little bit, are still beating NXT on Wednesday nights. Just wanted to share that. Sorry guys, that was so random.
Meh. But anyways, so
So it's, I dig it. I like it. You know, we were talking earlier with the whole Ronda Rousey.
right.
I like the Ronda Rousey coming in because to me, I think Ronda Rousey coming in is you got these other MMA, you know, like said type chicks
Right.
Oh yeah.
that are seeing this and they're like, okay, hey.
Hey, maybe this is something
You know,
I
I mean, Rhea Ripley's got a MMA background, you
Right.
know.
And Shayna Baszler. You know,
Shayna Baszler,
yeah.
exactly. She was, you know, she was UFC Women's Champion, you know, for a while.
Yep.
Yep,
She's
yep.
now the NXT Women's Champion.
Right on.
You know, so I mean, now we've got a couple minutes left. Yeah, a couple minutes.
Hell, we even have in AEW, we even have a transgender.
Yes,
we have
Nyla
a-
Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Nyla
first
Rose.
transgender
Yeah, she
performer.
used to be a guy. Now
Yep.
she's a chick.
So
And that is her choice.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read off my top 10 women.
Okay.
So and then
Yeah.
you go ahead and read off your top 10.
And then
You got a top 10?
I'll,
No, you didn't.
I'll just have to wing it. I didn't
Okay.
really put together a top 10 of my favorite.
So my top, and this is in order, but was AJ Lee, Paige, Lita, Becky Lynch. I loved Melina. Melina was awesome with Eminem.
I loved her in the way she got
Yeah.
in the ring.
Ashley Massaro. I loved
Yeah.
her whenever she was in the
she
ring.
was awesome.
Michelle McCool, Asuka, Gail Kim was amazing.
She
Yes.
was good. Gail
Yes.
Kim was really good.
Just her in ring, just
TNA
everything.
let her shine, though.
yeah.
TNA gave her her shot, man.
And then last but not least was Alexa Bliss.
All right. Well, you want me to go second?
Yeah, go man.
All right. These are not necessarily all of them are wrestlers. Some of them are just women in wrestling, period. I got Sensational Sherry. I got Miss Elizabeth. I got Fabulous Moolah. I got Mae Young, Wendy Richter, Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, Lita, Sasha Banks, and the man Becky Lynch. Now, where I go with Mae Young and Moolah is that's more or less me saying that without them starting back in the day and being those stars, wrestling would not be for women where it is today. That's just like where Hulk Hogan transcended the 80s.
Right.
It's the same type of thing I'm saying.
Right.
They
and The Rock and Stone Cold did to the 90s.
Yes. They paved the way. So I had to include them in my list. Trish Stratus and Lita continued that from Attitude Era going into the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Right.
And I will say that Paige is an honorable mention for me. Paige is amazing, and she did what you guys said, bringing the Divas Revolution to where it is now, as it is the women's division, no longer Divas anymore. And I think that is a huge accomplishment for the women of wrestling. So I think it's great where it's at. So and the man and Charlotte, of course, are taking the ranks now with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. William?
Again, this is not in a 1 through 10 order. This is just 10.
This is just your top
Right.
10.
But for me, it's Chyna,
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Tessa Blanchard,
Yes.
Lita, Natalya, Caitlyn. I just was a big fan of Caitlyn.
Yeah,
I
Caitlyn
dug
was
Caitlyn.
awesome.
Yeah, I
And
remember what
Paige.
you would say about
Yeah.
Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Those
So-
are the ones I,
Yeah.
those are the ones I like. Now, wrestlers. Now, I didn't really include chicks who were just strictly like valet manager type,
Right.
Yeah, that's the different. Yeah, we're talking about wrestling, wrestling performers, in-ring performers, whatever. But if we were including valets, there was several. I liked Woman.
Right.
I liked Gorgeous George, who was with Macho Man. Everyone talks about Miss
Oh, in
Elizabeth.
WCW.
But for me, it was Gorgeous George in WCW with Macho.
Oh, there's also
And I
Camille Brickhouse,
I also liked the girl who was with. She was with Michelle McCool. They had the tag team.
Lay Cool.
Layla, yeah.
Lay Cool. And then they shared the Divas title. They split it in half.
Yep.
That was kind of unique.
Yeah. For me, honorable mentions. Trish.
She was.
Trish. Trish was definitely close, and it was hard to not put her into my top 10. But I would have to think that when it comes to these chicks, that they would just be like my favorites that I like.
Trish was a part of the paving the way for where it is today now.
Yep.
And my thing, I know you don't like Natalya, but one of my big things with Natalya I like is the fact that
her family legacy.
Well, yeah, it's the whole legacy. It's like that, that
It's
whole
in her
season.
blood.
Yeah, it's in her blood. I mean, you're talking about a chick who grew up. Her dad was, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Her
Yeah, you
uncles
asshole.
are Bret Hart. And,
But I mean, if
Davey Boy
are you going to live up to that legacy? And my problem is that she's done stuff like the flatulating natty thing.
We don't talk about the flatulating natty
But
thing.
in her defense, I'm 99.99% sure that it probably wasn't her idea.
What's
She
going
wasn't
on
sitting
right
around
now?
going, "Hey, you know what? I should fart on camera. That would be neat." No, I'm sure it wasn't her idea.
I know that, man. But I mean,
You talking about living up to potential? I think if she was given the opportunity, Natalya could be. But I don't think Natalya has ever really truly been given the opportunity, because I think she can get it done in the ring.
Oh, without a doubt.
well, I mean, she's had plenty of opportunities, though. I mean, she's gone out there and wrestled how many different times for the title?
Yeah.
I mean, she's wrestled.
Exactly.
She's wrestled
That's just
Flair.
it. And in
She's
my
wrestled.
opinion, she should have won it. She deserves to have won it at least once.
I mean, she's
Honorable
wrestled Alexa
mention, Beth
Bliss.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix was good. But I mean, for me, Natalya was just like a white milk version of Beth Phoenix. So I mean, nothing special.
They're best friends.
Yeah. But anyways,
Right.
So
see, I kind of feel that way about Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix was great, but it was just like
she was the glamazon.
She's just very,
And that's
very
where we're
short-lived, and that's just my whole thing. Is
got
Natalya has been performing doing that. She's been doing it for a while, and like you said, I think when it comes in the ring, I think she's one of the best chicks out there. She's very technically sound.
I think
And
Natalya.
I think that she deserves. She should have gotten a title.
I think
at least
you
once.
will. I think you will see Natalya with the belt.
It just
I do.
I'm sorry, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I think she hasn't done it. And why I think Natalya hasn't gotten that push, that shove, is because of her family name. And that's a Vince McMahon ego kind of thing, you know, with the whole Bret Hart.
The
Because
Hart
there's that
family
animosity between the McMahons and WWE and the Hart family. I think that's why Natalya hasn't gotten
She's
the
never won the
opportunity. You know,
championship.
no, not that I'm aware of.
Any
I don't
type
recall
of women's
Natalya ever
championship.
having winning the women's championship.
You know, I mean, if that's
Not
the
even the
case,
Divas.
you know, I mean, if that's the
I
case,
don't recall. I'm not sure how I could. Let me write it down for you.
I don't recall.
Don't
Well, I think we're gonna cut this one, folks.
recall.
So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and
I don't recall.
we're gonna wrap
What's
this
that
one
say?
up.
I do recall.
He does. I don't.
So,
All right, go ahead, Brad. Take it away.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, everybody. Make sure
But
to go.
Before we do that, I just want to just remind everyone. Don't. God damn, I'm about to lose my cool.
Why?
I don't know, because you're pushing my buttons.
Why?
Just next week, as we said before, big Halloween episode. Be sure to turn in. It's gonna be a good one.
I'm still freaked out.
Like I said, you
Yeah,
know,
man, just
spooky.
hold it together. What the hell was that?
The fuck, man.
If the Fiend shows up, I'm shoving Joey towards him and I'm heading for the car.
I'll just try to reason
Yeah,
with
but
him. It
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
next
nobody
week, like I
reasons
said,
with
next
the
week.
Fiend.
You know, creepy, spooky,
Talk
whatever.
to
You
the
know,
Fiend.
it's
He'll
gonna be
all
good.
right. He'll be all right.
And I had a buddy of mine he told me he got his hands on an old Papa Shango spell book. So they told me to come by and we can check that out.
So we're gonna have Papa Shango. We're gonna have Zach Monstar. You know,
No, not Papa Shango. I'm just gonna check out his
Did
spell
Michael
book.
Myers get back to you?
No, but
I mean, I know usually on the 31st he just shows up behind a tree and looks at you first, but
right. No,
right.
Michael Myers, he had something else to take care of.
he said something about his sister. I don't
Right.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, he was going to come by, but he's
issues.
currently on his way to Haddonfield. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where that's at.
Illinois.
Illinois.
But
Yeah, he's like walking and stealing cars to get there and everything, so it takes a while.
so
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger came to me in a dream last night. He
Did
actually
he?
said that he was going to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it going to be?
Oh, and by the
While We're
way,
Dreaming?
too, I wanted. I know I had promised him before, and he wasn't able to show up, but he did. You know, he did post an apology, Ron Burgundy. You know that he couldn't make it that
Yes.
one week.
Fuck
So
no,
hopefully-
Burgundy.
Hopefully, you know, in the future we can get him to come back in. You know, maybe get him as a third host because I don't know how much longer Joey's going to last. He
Why-
keeps
why
pulling
would you say
antics
that?
like that?
Why would you say that?
Because they may ban you from
Why are they going to ban us? They can't ban
because of
you.
your potty mouth.
I know, man.
Potty mouth.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
guys heard him.
Oh!
We could.
So, anyways, yeah, next week Halloween episode's going to be
Yep.
good.
It'll be fun.
It'll be great.
It'll be fantastic.
You looking forward
Yeah.
to it? You gonna get you lots of candy, trick or treating?
Yeah.
With my daughter,
Yeah.
who's 2 years old.
So
I'm doing the
because she
fatherly
doesn't
thing.
need all the candy, just bring a handful for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
So, Bill, go ahead and get us off. Or...
Yeah, man. Let's. I'm gonna gather up my crap and get out of here.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
3,
2.
1.
Screw.
You feel the energy is pulsing, taking over your face. Just like a heart attack, the pressure's rising, you can't get safe. So clear your fist, it's obvious, you know we're pulling you in. This hour you deny the change, it's not a way